yourself, known to give the color red the blues. Woo, shit. I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. Keep up. So many pretty girls around me and they're waking up the rocket. Keep up. Why you mad? Fix your face. Ain't my fault they all be jacking. Keep up. Players only. Come on, put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do? 24 karat magic in the air. Head to toe so clear. Look out. Second best for the hustlers, gangsters, bad bitches and your ugly ass friends. I cannot preach, I cannot preach. I gotta show them how I can get it in. First, take your sip, do your dip, spend your money like money ain't shit. Ooh, ooh, we too fresh. Got to blame it on Jesus. Hashtag blessed. They ain't ready for me. I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. Keep up. So many pretty girls around me and they're waking up the rocket. Keep up. Why you mad? Fix your face. Ain't my fault they all be jocking. Keep up. Players only. Come on, put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do? What you trying to do? 24 karat magic in the air. Head to toe so clear. Look out. Everywhere I go, they be like, oh, so bad. Everywhere I go, they be like, oh, so bad. Everywhere I go, they be like, oh, so bad. Now, watch me break it down like 24 karat, 24 karat. What's that sound? 24 karat. Come on now. 24 karat, 24 karat magic. Don't fight the feeling, invite the feeling. Just put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do? Tell me what you're trying to do. 24 karat magic in the air. Head to toe so clear. Put your pinky rings up to the moon. Girls, what y'all trying to do? 24 karat magic in the air. Head to toe so clear. Look out.
Good afternoon and welcome to Vixen Live 2020. For those of you who've been with us for a couple years or more, you'll know that the past couple years we've had a live variety show around this time of year in order to raise funds for the next season and just have a good time with our family, friends, and fans. This year, of course, coronavirus had other plans for pretty much the entire world, so we are here going to entertain you for the next couple of hours. What you just saw was Sil Winton, number 32 on our squad, doing their rendition of Bruno Mars' 24K Magic. You will be hearing much more from Sil later in the show. Next up, we have some greetings from a couple of alumni and their family, as well as some additional vocal performances from players, as well as our fan base.
To the Vixen, thank you from the alumni for carrying on our traditions.
From the future players, thank you for paving the way.
Only one more thing to say. Squad up!
Go Vixen!
Go Vixen! Woo!
Hi, my name is Charlie Barbacook. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am an offensive line player on the Minnesota Vixen. I'm really excited about the upcoming season. But I'm especially excited thinking about the Vixen as kind of my community, as a Mexican and Jewish and trans, non-binary, lesbian or queer, or however I am deciding to label myself that day. Having a community like the Minnesota Vixen where I can just kind of go and not really think about any of that or what roles that plays in my life, and really focus on football and how it's impacted my life. It's taught me drive and determination and pride. Especially playing with the Minnesota Vixen, they've demonstrated to be, one of the more inclusive spaces I've been a part of. That there's a lot of other players on the team who have different cultures from me. When we're in the locker room pregame, really getting to know each other's kind of nitty-gritty. For me, that's the fun of the sport, aside from, of course, playing the field with your team and feel powerful. And I would dominate or not, but we'll say dominate. Without football, I don't know where I would be. But it's not just football. This is me. I am a football player. I am Mexican. I am Jewish. I am trans. I am a human being, and I am Minnesota Vixen.
Thanks, Charlie. Laura, I'm going to bring you in at this time if you want to talk a little bit about Adopt-a-Vixen and how we use it to raise funds for individual players as well as the team as a whole.
Sure. So kind of like Moose talked about earlier is we usually do a variety show, each year. We've done for 2 years in a row now, and we weren't able to do it this year. So we wanted to be able to, kind of bring something to people during this time that could kind of be fun and energetic, something that would be, safe to do during COVID and a lot of fun for people to participate from home. So we kind of put together all these things. And we did it also to help the players actually raise some funds. So we have a program called Adopt-a-Vixen where anybody can go on and donate to any player or to the team in general. But if you have a Vixen player that or somebody, your favorite player that you want to support, it's real easy to go to mnvixen.com/Adopt-a-Vixen. And you can donate. You can donate $5. You can donate $100. 100% of the money that you donate goes directly to that player to help them cover their fees. Many people out there probably realize that women's sports just aren't financially as supported as well as men's sports. And so the players actually take on a lot of costs for themselves. And there's a lot of great people out there who help sponsor the team and promote the team. But we still fall short on our budget every year. And so a lot of that comes in from people donating and people donating to specific players, helping them cover training fees, equipment fees, travel, things like that. And so any little bit helps. And so I know our players appreciate it. I appreciate it. So if you are able tonight, we greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, Laura. Up next, we have Taylor Fox and Erin McIsaac, more affectionately known to the rest of us as Fern and Fox, and they are going to be entertaining us with some excellent vocal selections. Here's Fern and Fox.
Good afternoon, Vixen fans and friends and family and whoever else is tuning in today. My name is Taylor Fox. I play on the offensive line for the Minnesota Vixen, and I'm wearing my absolute favorite t-shirt today, QB Protection Services, provided by the Minnesota Vixen QBs, some of my favorite people in the world. Just a little about myself. I am 29 years old. I work in banking full time on top of playing football. And I work in the BSA Department of Sunrise Banks, which I love working for. It's a really great place. At home, I'm married. I have 4 fur children, 2 dogs and 2 cats. They're a handful at times, but I love them very much. A little bit about my background and why we are doing this here today. I actually went to McNally College of Music and got my bachelor's degree in vocal performance. So music thing is not particularly unfamiliar to me.
She needs me to open a waiting room. I don't want to do that.
To you all today. I am joined today by my friend, my very good friend, Erin Mugas, who I will hand it over to now.
Thanks, Taylor. Hi, Vixen friends and family. I am Erin, and I am one of the QBs for the Minnesota Vixen. I am 28 years old, and in my time outside of football, which is a lot, apparently, since we didn't have a season, unfortunately, I am in school getting my bachelor's in addiction counseling. And instead of doing my internship in May because of COVID, I started painting houses, exterior, interior, crazy stuff for Katie Painting, not sponsored. And I love that. And moving ladders was conditioning. So I stayed in shape for the season. And I also nanny children, and I am at the tail end of getting my real estate license, and we'll be doing that in January, doing realty. And I am my home life is that the love of my life is Sam Barber, number 13 from the Minnesota Vixen, the wide receiver. And I have a cat that I'm obsessed with named Lottie that everyone who knows me will hear about. And I have a nice golden retriever boy named Boomer, and he's perfect, a boy. And we don't need to talk about my music background, but it might involve pitch perfect type things that I did in college. So let's do this, Taylor.
All right, so we will jump into this. We've got 4 songs for you guys today. We had to do this a little bit differently than we originally planned, with COVID and all of that. Obviously, we are coming to you live from a Zoom call right now. So bear with us with the tech stuff, switching back and forth between videos and all the lovely challenges that this year has brought everybody. But I will kick it back to Erin to talk about this first song.
Thanks, Taylor. Let's get after it, people. Let's sing some songs. Taylor and I have a strong bond over our love for Billie Eilish. And so we had to pick one of her songs for this event. So here we'll sing for you one of our favorites, Everything I Wanted by Billie Eilish.
I got everything I wanted, not what you think. And if I'm being honest, it might have been a nightmare to anyone who might care. Thought I could fly, so I stepped off the golden. Nobody cried. Nobody even noticed I saw him standing right there. I kinda thought they might care. I had a dream. I got everything I wanted, but when I wake up I see you with me. And you'd say, as long as I'm here, no one can hurt you. I don't wanna lie here, but you can learn to. If I could change the way that you see yourself, you wouldn't wonder why you're here. They don't deserve you. I tried to scream, but my head was underwater. They called me weak, Like I'm not just somebody's daughter. It could have been a nightmare, but it felt like they were right there. And it feels like yesterday was a year ago, but I don't wanna let anybody know, 'cause everybody wants something from me now, and I don't wanna let them know. I had a dream, I got everything I wanted, but when I wake up I see you with me. And you'd say, as long as I'm here, no one can hurt you. I don't wanna lie here, but you can learn to. If I could change the way that you see yourself, you wouldn't wonder why you're here. They don't deserve you. If I knew it all, then would I do it again? Would I do it again? If they knew what they said would go straight to my head, what would they say instead? If I knew it all, then would I do it again? Would I do it again? If they knew what they said would go straight to my head, what would they say instead? I had a dream, I got everything I wanted.
All right, so this next song we're going to do is called Come Home by One Republic. It is a very lovely song, and with COVID going on this year, you know, the idea of being at home, coming home, is something some of you may be very familiar with at this point in the year. All jokes aside, it is a really nice song. It talks about, you know, just the world being better and someone they love very much, and I hope you enjoy it.
Forgive me if I'm young, for speaking out of turn. Well, there's someone I've been missing. I think that they could be the better half of me. They're in the wrong place, trying to make it right, but I'm tired of justifying, so I say to you, come home, 'cause I've been waiting for you for so long, and right now there's a war between the vanities, but all I see is you and me, and the fight for you is all I've ever known. So come home. Ooh. I get lost in the beauty of everything I see. The world ain't half as bad as they paint it to be. If all the sons, all the daughters would stop to take it in, well, hopefully the hate subsides and love can begin. It might start now, or maybe I'm just dreaming out loud, but until then, come home, 'cause I've been waiting for you for so long, and right now there's a war between the vanities, but all I see is you and me, and the fight for you is all I've ever known.
Wasn't that nice? Wasn't that so sweet, that song? It's a cute one. We enjoyed that one. This next song coming up is for all the haters out there. Just kidding. But really, I can't make you love me. I just hope you do. But if you won't, you won't. This next song is called I Can't Make You Love Me. And my favorite version of it is by Teddy Swims. Look him up on YouTube. He's a gem. So let's just take it away. I Can't Make You Love Me.
Turn down the lights, turn down the bed, turn down these voices inside my head. Lay down with me and tell me no lies. Just hold me close, don't patronize, don't patronize. 'Cause I can't make you love me if you don't. And you can't make your heart feel something it won't. Here in the dark, in these final hours, I will lay down my heart and I'll feel the power, but you won't. I'll close my eyes, 'cause then I won't see the love that you don't feel when you're holding me. Morning will come and I'll do what's right. Just give me till then to give up this fight. And I will give up this fight. 'Cause I can't make you love me if you don't. You can't make your heart feel something it won't. Oh, here in the dark, in these final hours, I will lay down my heart and I will feel the power, but you won't. No, you won't. 'Cause I can't make you love me if you don't. You can't make your heart feel something it won't. Here in the dark, in these final hours, I will lay down my heart and I'll feel the power, but you won't. 'Cause I can't make you love me if you don't.
Okay, people. Hope you're all still with us here or have gotten some new viewers. This last song is special. Okay. This is a Taylor Fox original piece.
Indeed.
Taylor Fox, this woman in the QB protection shirt, wrote this song herself, and it's beautiful. And I was really happy to get to sing it with her.
All right. Now I'm starting to get embarrassed. She's telling the truth, though. This is my song. I wrote it all the way back in 2013 for my now wife, who I love very much. And I hope you guys all enjoy Angel in Plaid.
Hands are warm, always glad to see me when I'm sad. She soothes my pain, my angel in plaid. Always smiles when I need her a while. She is pleased to cheer me up, my angel in plaid. She lifts me up, my angel in plaid. From the first time that I saw her face, I could tell she'd hold a special place in my life. My days would be a waste without my angel in plaid. Tells the truth, wears my hat, shows her youth. I love that. She keeps me young, my angel in plaid. Never worry or doubt where she is when she's out. I trust her so, my angel in plaid. She'll never go, my angel in plaid. She will cuddle me right through the night, even though sometimes we fuss and fight. I will hold you close with all my might, my love, my life, my angel in plaid. We'll grow old, I don't fear what's to come. When you're near, you make me strong, my angel in plaid. You will always be my angel in plaid.
Thank you for joining us today. Hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
That last song always gets me. I had the privilege of getting to get an early look at that video because I was preparing for the show, and I am always continually amazed at the amount of talent on and off the field for this team. Some of you may not know, this will be my 20th season playing for the team, and I have been a member of the team since its inception in 1999. And you'll hear a little bit more about that later on this evening. Next up, we have a fan of the Vixen. If you've been to previous shows, you might have seen her performing on stage with us. Anissa Lubers is a very talented actress and singer and dancer, triple threat from the community. And she today has definitely continued the Vixen theme of shattering norms, exceeding expectations. If you're a fan of postmodern jukebox, you might know what's coming up a little bit here, but the question I want you to ask yourself as you watch this next video is, what happens if Jessica Rabbit sang Britney Spears?
Baby, can't you see
falling. A guy like you should wear a warning. It's dangerous. I'm falling. There's no escape. I can't wait. I need a hit. Baby, give me it. You're dangerous. I'm loving it. Too high, can't come down. Losing my head, spinning round and round. Do you feel me now? The taste of your lips, I'm on a ride. You're toxic, I'm slipping under with a taste of a poison paradise. I'm addicted to you. Don't you know that you're toxic? It's getting late to give you up. I took a sip from my devil's cup. Slowly, it's taking over me. Too high, can't come down. It's in the air and it's all around. Can you feel me now? The taste of your lips, I'm on the ride. You're toxic, I'm slipping under with a taste of a poison paradise. I'm addicted to you. Don't you know that you're toxic? And I love what you do. Don't you know you're toxic? With the taste of your lips, I'm on a ride. You're toxic, I'm slipping under with a taste of a poison paradise. I'm addicted to you. Don't you know that you're toxic? Intoxicate me now with your loving now. I think I'm ready now. I think I'm ready now. Intoxicate me. I'm addicted to you. Don't you know that you're toxic?
Thank you, Anissa. Wow. So previously to this, my favorite version of Britney Spears' Toxic was by Clark Gregg on Lip Sync Battle, but I think I have a new favorite, definitely. At this time, we'd like to make sure everyone's aware that we are giving away some fantastic prizes for those who donate to the Adopt-a-Vixen program during the broadcast, during the live broadcast. We have a game day experience with our announcer guy, Brian Sweeney. We have a ton of Vixen swag, of an Under Armour backsack with the Vixen logo on it, some t-shirts, an awesome metal engraved printed sign with a Vixen player on it. If you check our Facebook page, you will see pictures of pretty much all the prizes we're giving away. And because we're optimists here at Minnesota Vixen Women's Football, we are giving away a $250 Delta voucher that's good for any kind of Delta travel expense, including a Delta vacation package, because we know that travel will be a thing again, and we want to make that happen for somebody when it does. Up next, we've got a little Vixen promo featuring some game footage from past seasons, and on with the show.
I've played all different types of sports since I was a little kid. Being in sports allows you to, one, have a family around you at all times, two, like just have this innate confidence that you can achieve anything if you like keep working towards it. The third one is the opportunities. My junior year of college, I was playing basketball. I was doing pretty much every intramural I could. One of my favorite things has always been our putt or putt football game. Left the pocket to the outside and was sprinting on the sideline and like hyperextended my knee, tore the ACL, and I just knew it right away. Had surgery, I think that was up in Fargo somewhere, rehabbed, but it never felt quite right. I always had extension problems and flexion problems, but it felt good enough. 3 years ago, I tried out for the Minnesota Vixen, which is a women's tackle football team. We represent all of Minnesota. It's the longest running women's tackle football team in the nation. These women are athletes.
Incomplete, intercepted. Connor Joe Lewis.
Going left side, and that pass is intercepted by Connor Joe Lewis.
The game was just coming back to me super fast. That fourth game, I cut to tackle someone. I felt my knee slip again, and I just knew it. I just laid there. I didn't even say anything. What's left is frustration. I was like, well, playing with the Vixen was fun. It's over. When you don't live in the Twin Cities, everyone's like, oh, I went down to the Twin Cities and had surgery. Now I'm here. So I need to find the best doctor to go to, the best place to go to. And I went into orthopedic urgent care at a TCO location and really looked back and thought about things. And I was like, well, is coming back from this injury really important to me? Is being around a family really important to me? When I met Dr. Wolf, I just felt at ease, feeling his confidence about everything. Yeah, let's do it. Let's come back. Just like the first time I had rehabbed, I followed instructions and I continued to have lingering pain. And that's when I started looking for even more assistance, and then again turned to TCO and found the training house. Right away, they diagnosed, they're like, yep, you're compensating and we can see that, so we're gonna slow down your training program and fix this. I was finally feeling super confident with what I was doing, better movements than I had ever had before. This season, I was actually voted as team captain, was also a backup quarterback. I could make cuts off of my right leg so fluidly and confidently, which had not happened in honestly 7 years. just the joy of putting on the pads and scoring a touchdown or making that tackle or celebrating, just feeling so free.
Hi, we're Sawyer's Dream. This is our rehearsal space, and we are based locally out of Minneapolis. We're excited to perform for you.
Go Vixen!
Go Vixen!
For the things you've done, you're no friend of mine. into tomorrow's daydream, holding on to a love that is gone, wishing for somebody to come along. Walking down an abandoned dreamscape, staring up at the stars and space, knowing that I'm gonna go back someday. Not now. Wait for me, I'll be back in town. Wait for me, yeah, I'll be back around. Guess who's back in town? Guess who's back in town? Guess who's back in town? Who's back in town? Guess who's back in town? Who's back in town? Guess who's back in town?
Once again, we are Sawyer's Dream, local Minneapolis band. We are very happy to be a part of the Vixen Telethon, and we want to wish the Vixen a great season in their 2021 season of the WFA.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Your poetry is so beautiful. You're my mystery writer. I'm your mystery fan. You create the perfect rhyme, and it's all about you and me. People in the story, close your eyes, see a beautiful life waiting for you and me. I'm reading your daydream poetry by the lake on an old park bench. Your words paint such a perfect world where we could be together and live carefree with no regrets. It's all about you and I, the people in the story. Close your eyes and see a beautiful life waiting for you and me. Mysterious poems of life, some are left untold, crumbled up and then thrown away. I've written so many lines, so
Once again, we are Sawyer's Dream, and we are so happy to have performed for you tonight. We've got one more song for you before we go, but I just wanted to let you know that you can find us at sawyersdream.com. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Go on over there, give us a like, follow us. Happy holidays!
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, Sawyer's Dream. Catch him on Facebook and YouTube and pretty much anywhere online. Of course, no one's really going anywhere right now, but can't wait to see those guys live. That's a pretty good band. Now, I'd like to ask anyone watching to chime in the comments section and tell us, how do you know the Vixen? Have you been to a game? Where are you watching us from? Let's see how many states, cities, people are out there and how they know about the Vixen. Speaking of geography, we have a guest tonight from up north, as some people call it. And if you saw last year's variety show at Lush, you know Mike Hoodness.
Hello there. Hi. Hello. Hi there. Oh, I need to back up a little bit. Oh, there we go now. Oh, hi there. This is Mike Hoodness from up north there, the northern Minnesota. I've been asked by the Minnesota Vixen that if I could come and do like a little song or dance or whatever they wanted for the telethon. And I was like, yeah. Love me the telethon, the telephone, the telething, love them all. So yeah, I thought I would come and say hi to you. I know that 2020 has been kind of a rough year for everyone. Yeah, we got the COVID, we got the lots of stuff going on. But I tell you what, it's been a good year for my goodness. I found a lady and she is just a peach. I told my father, I said, yeah, I found a lady, she's a peach. And he told me, he's like, son, I know you found a peach, but you really think you're ready to preserve her? So yeah, I hope so. I did marry her. I married Oma, and Oma Hoodness, she is just the best wife that anyone could ever ask for. She's just wonderful. And it's really too bad because she's been on the diet lately. She's been on this coconut banana diet. And yeah, I don't think she's lost a lot of weight, but it's been nice to see her get her exercise climbing up the trees to get the coconuts and the bananas. And as it turns out, Minnesota, those things don't grow so well. So she's actually been climbing the walnut trees. So it really hasn't been working out for her. But I do have a hot tip for you fellows. I know Oma was asking for one of those Apple Watches for Christmas, and I was like, oh my goodness, you're the best, so I get you whatever you want. But they're kind of expensive. So, I went ahead and I was like, I can make an Apple Watch. I've got an Apple. I've got a thing to put the watch on. So here we go. I made Oma her very own Apple Watch. And I think the ladies like when you put a little dot into it. So it's look at that. It goes on right like that. And it's got a little sparkle. And you just kind of adjust it to whatever size you want it to be. And look at that. It's a watch. It's an apple. It's all the things. You get a little hungry. You got yourself a snack. I just think it's going to go over well. Hopefully she doesn't see this and so it ruins the surprise. But, oh my goodness, she is just wonderful. So, yeah, and sometimes I don't really know, how to tell Oma how much I love her. Because, yeah, she is just the best. So, yeah, I'm just going to play you a song that I wrote about her and to her. So, oh my goodness, this is going out to you. You say that I don't love you. You say my love's untrue. If I was a rich man, I'd prove my love to you. I'd buy you a diamond ring and a real fur coat or two. If my nose was running money, honey, I'd blow it all on you. If my nose was running money, I'd blow it all on you. I'd buy you a Cadillac and a big Ford truck too. I'd build you a mansion up on the mountain top. If my nose was running money, honey, but it's not. It's a booger of a problem that I've got. I wish my nose was running money, but it's not. I'd buy you a Cadillac and a new Mercedes too. If my nose was running money, honey, I'd blow it all on you. If my nose was running money, we'd have everything we please. And if we needed cash, all I'd have to do is sneeze. Yeah, be eating high on the hog, and the hog wouldn't be so lean. If my nose was running money, honey, we'd be rolling in the green. If my nose was running money, I'd tell you what I'll do. I'd buy you a John Deere tractor and get rid of the old brand new. Carry you down to the store for a brand new pair of shoes. Then you wouldn't be plowing barefoot the way you always do. It's a booger of a problem that I've got. I wish my nose was running money, but it's not. I'd buy you a Cadillac and a new Mercedes too. If my nose was running money, honey, I'd blow it all on you.
Wow. My goodness, from up north. And really, what more could you ask for Christmas than an Apple Watch and a nose that's running money? Next up, we're going to hear from the best mascot in the WFA, followed by an interview with our head coach, Brian McCauley, as we are a football team. So to this point, we've kind of been not football, but we're going to get right back into that football so that you can hear a little bit about what we're planning in the 2021 season.
This is how BA gets ready for the 2021 season. Gotta shake some of that dust off the fur. Ugh. 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 Squirrel! Ah!
Hello again, Vixen fans. Very happy Saturday evening to you. Thank you for being here for this part of Vixen Live and this wonderful telethon event. We hope that you've enjoyed the talented Vixen that you've seen previous and the Vixen that you'll see again following this interview. But of course, it's time to talk some football. It's been a while since we've heard from the head coach of your Minnesota Vixen, and I'm here with head coach Brian McCauley. Brian, how are you doing today?
Doing well, Alex. Excited to get rolling on this interview and get rolling with the season in general.
Well, of course, the last time that we saw the Minnesota Vixen take the field occurred in St. Louis, Missouri in June of 2019. A lot has happened since then. What have you been up to?
Well, after that loss, tough loss in June that year, I told myself to take about a month off, let myself have that month, let it sink in, and then we'll go from prep from there. That lasted about a week. So about a week into my month hiatus, I jumped right back in, got together with some of the other coaches, talked some things through to kind of get ready again for 2020. In between having our season shut down and the end of that 2019 season, I was lucky enough to be part of a state championship football season for the Wayzata Trojans. Lucky enough to be an assistant coach, working primarily with the sophomores, but us sophomore coaches got to tag along and help out the varsity through their state tournament run. Also been busy adjusting to being a full-time distance physical education teacher. So you can imagine I'm struggling a little bit with getting kids physically active through a computer screen.
Of course, you mentioned earlier the league pause that occurred on March the 12th, pausing the season until mid-May, and then eventually the suspension of the league for the 2020 championship season on May the 2nd. What was your reaction to that, and what was your message to the team that was ready to take the field last spring?
Kind of saw it coming, reading the tea leaves a little bit, that we were probably going to have to put a pause to our season and then eventually cancel it. But I'm a big believer in one of the things that we tell our team is that we control the things that we can. It was something that was completely outside of our control. We were going to prepare as if we were going to have a season as long as we possibly could. And then when we got that shutdown message, obviously we sent players their own ways and started to focus on 2021.
As we look back again to that 2019 season, we haven't really had the chance to recap the huge successes that we saw on and off the field, specifically with your rookies. Again, Kaya Segula being the first name that comes to my mind as a player that had a really strong rookie season back in 2019. Who were those rookies that stood out of your class of 2019?
Kaya obviously was one of them, even showing up in the All-American game, I think with 11 or so catches and showing it on that national stage. Sil Winton, our rookie linebacker, was also part of that All-American game, led our team in tackles. So those two kind of stand out at that All-American level, but we're expecting contributions from that class going into this year. Erin McIsaac was one of our receivers and our backup quarterback as a rookie in 2019. Was looking to make the jump potentially into that starter's role in 2020, fighting things out with Emily Evans. And now in 2021, I think it's primed to lead us going forward. Bella McGrath was part of our backfield. I know we'll talk about her a little bit later. And then Taylor Fox as well. If I could think of another person, not just on the field, what Taylor does, but also off the field, helping with our rookie onboarding. The 2019 class is having a major impact on what we are doing in 2021.
Of course, speaking of that 2021 team, you've had rookies that would have taken the field in 2020, and now another class of rookies coming in 2021, ready to bring the Vixen onto victory. Who should we look forward to from the 2020 class, and as well as those players you've recruited over the past few months?
Well, there are going to be a lot of players in both of those classes challenging for spots on the field, not only in starting roles, but also on special teams. Off the top of my head, we just had a punt, pass, and kick competition as part of our last tryout. And Jody Williams was a 2020 rookie that took home that title. And very closely behind was another 2021 rookie, Dia. Will be another person that's challenging for time on the field in multiple different areas. Honestly, there are a lot more names in both of those classes that will probably be pushing for the field, but got to see everybody out on the practice field before I can make any calls in that regard.
One thing that we want to talk about with the Minnesota Vixen is making the jump from a Division II team to a Division I team, coming with that new opponents, a different level of opponents. What changes do you expect to see in 2021 in your competition, and how you will prepare for kickoff on Saturdays?
Well, going back to 2020, we were definitely ready for that bump in competition. It's something that's been talked about internally for a while with this team. Before I was even the coach, kind of perennially challenging for that Division II championship. Not being able to bring one home, but even still, I think the team has shown over the course of time that they're ready to take that big jump. The perennial powerhouses, Boston Renegades, were going to be on our schedule in 2020. We're hopeful that they'll still be on there for 2021. That remains to be seen at this point. But the preparation just has to take a jump up on multiple levels. On the field, we were conditioning a little bit harder and earlier. We jumped right into scheming and making sure everything was installed right away at the beginning of 2020 instead of taking that slower approach, getting to know the players. And also taking the jump off the field in terms of our film study and understanding, the players understanding that they have to put in at least as much time off the field as they do on it if we want to compete and be at the highest level.
Also making the jump with you, you've had a number, and the Minnesota Vixen have had a number of rivalries, first with the New York Sharks in the middle part of the decade, but then over 2018 and 2019, a pretty strong rivalry with the team that knocked you out of the playoffs in 2019, the St. Louis Slam. How do you expect that rivalry to change, and what other teams across the Division I landscape do you expect to form those rivalries with?
We expect that we'll still maintain that rivalry with the Slam, even after those two games, talking with their coaches, talking with their players. The Vixen was their measuring stick game every year. It's what they considered to be their biggest rival, their biggest game going into the year. And it's the same for us. And we're not a team that's going to focus on unfinished business because we're focusing kind of in the moment, winning the moment. And I'm sure that the two losses in 2019 will be in the back of everybody's mind, but we're focused forward and ready to take them on and bring home a couple of wins against them, hopefully this year. And then since we expect to be the best, we we're going to have to beat the best. So forming a rivalry with the Boston Renegades. Cali War was a game that was going to be on our schedule again in 2020. So again, two of the top teams in Division I, we expect to form those rivalries with and have those big games against, and then hopefully continued growth from the Iowa Phoenix and Midwest Mountain Lions growing football in our own Midwest and being able to see those teams arise and develop and challenge us as well.
Talking football specifics, last when we saw the Vixen take the field, the three-headed running back combination of Tank Nelson, Grace Cooper, and Belvina McGrath was excellent for Vixen fans to be able to see. With Tank Nelson not playing for the Vixen this year, it's going to look like it's Grace Cooper, Belvina McGrath coming out of the backfield. Also with Emily Evans moving from quarterback to your coaching staff, a little change going on the offensive side of the football. What can we expect from the Minnesota Vixen offense in 2021?
Well, there definitely will be some similar things. Our run concepts and everything will maintain kind of what they have been. It's just going to be a different, obviously, look. There's only one Tank. We're not going to try and put somebody into Tank's role that doesn't necessarily fit it. But if there was probably one player that coaches talked about most being super excited for 2020, it was Grace. A full season removed from having her knee repaired and kind of a full season knowing going in that she might be the lead dog. We were excited to see Grace, and we were excited to see Bella. We had a rookie for 2020, Jesse Haas, that was going to contribute out of the backfield as well. And then a former Vixen player coming back into the fold. We may have lost a Tank, but we brought in a train. Angela Griffin was going to be part of that backfield as well. This year, it might look even different still. Bella is somebody that we are considering moving over to the defensive side of the football, has some experience playing there, and we have some holes to fill on that side. And it was an interest that they expressed, and we're going to play around and see how things go. But definitely some change in the backfield. We'll see what it brings for us on the field.
Speaking of the defensive side of the ball, it's hard to talk about the history of the Minnesota Vixen without talking about some of the original Vixen, and one of those being Cynthia Red Bryant, who's been a rock on the defensive line for the history of this Minnesota Vixen franchise. What does having Red on your defensive line and as a captain of your team, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot. Coming in as somebody brand new to women's football and brand new to the Vixen team in general as a rookie head coach in 2019, Red was one of the first people that stepped up and kind of brought me into the fold, showed me the ropes on what it meant to be a Vixen, just part of that Vixen family. Obviously on defense, being as stout as she is allows us to do a lot of different things behind her. I don't think that, and this is no slight at Sil or Madison back there in the middle or whoever we have at middle linebacker, their jobs are so much easier having Red in front of them, and they get to just clean up tackles when offensive players have nowhere to go because they can't go at Red. And then off the field, Red is one of those emotional centers of the team. Gets us going, gets us amped up on game day, gets us refocused if we're starting to lose focus in practice. And is that player that has no problem reaching out to somebody on the offensive side or defensive side and saying, hey, this is not how we do things. This is the way it's going to be. So having that, it's having another coach on the field and off the field. And it means the world.
And speaking of coaches, you've had a lot of former players come back and fill in coaching roles. Emily Evans is your quarterback coach, Connor Joe Lewis as a wide receivers coach, and of course Michelle Braun, one of the original Vixen, helping you out on the defense as well. What does having those experience of people who have played for the Vixen to come back as coaches, how does that experience translate to you on and off the field?
It's something I can rely upon and go and talk to them and see kind of where they think the team is at compared to where the team has been before, or things that have worked in the past for the team. They have that depth of knowledge. They have the knowledge of the players in how to reach out to a specific player or how to use a certain player within our scheme. We're adding even more. Sheena Reed will be joining us on the defensive line coaching staff. So just another former player, and it automatically lends that air of credibility for any player coming in, seeing somebody that's done it before, done it at a high level, whether as a captain over a long period of time, All-American, Hall of Famer. We have them all, and it's just something that is very special on this team. And honestly, there's probably a future head coach, future coordinator in that group for this team.
In the absence of football over the course of the year 2020, we saw the Minnesota Vixen really start to fill in and help out in the community, a combination of the COVID-19 food drive that we saw over the past couple of months, and then, of course, events such as this. How important has the Minnesota Vixen been in forming a relationship with the community to not just grow the game of women's football, but also be somebody that the community can turn to in times of need like we've been seeing over the course of this past year?
It's everything, and it's what this team wanted to do. They want to be that viewable pillar of a community, and they want to grow, obviously, not just the game of women's football, but they want to be the people that others look to within the community to help when things like this happen. Obviously, bringing in 660 pounds of food for the neighborhood program. We're working with other shelters right now, filling their needs. We have, at any given time during the year, players raising money for Alzheimer's. A group of our players were among the first cleaning up on Lake Street when they were doing the cleanup down there. So it's about growing our game. It's about growing the visibility for the Vixen, but it's also being that example out in the community for others to follow. And it's something that our players take great pride in, our staff takes great pride in as well.
And of course, Coach, to wrap up the interview, it's been a long time since we've had Minnesota Vixen football. When the team takes the field again coming up this spring in 2021, what will that mean to you?
It's going to mean a lot. If this could and possibly would be a full-time gig, it would be something I would jump at automatically. It's my favorite thing to do. I wake up in the morning thinking about what to do with this team. The team keeps me up late at night watching film, so it's going to mean a lot. Not only just getting back in the football field and getting back to a sense of normalcy, but also being around a group of my favorite people and a group of people that I've missed over the last 9 months. So it's going to mean quite a bit.
And of course, when the Vixen do take the field again, you can watch all the home games and the away games at home with Sean Parker and Kelly Schultz, and away with myself and Brian Sweeney on Town Square Television. Coach, thanks for joining us here, and enjoy the rest of Vixen Live.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. We'll do.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you again in the very near future.
Oh, so good to talk about football again. You'll hear from a couple more people later in the broadcast how excited we all are to not only get back to practice, but get all the dust blown off, as they say, and start hitting each other like women were meant to do on the football field. Thought I'd better qualify that. We are coming up next on another little promotional video from a former player's family member, and then we have a live conversation with Emily Evans. So stay tuned for that, plus a drawing, the first drawing of the evening. Okay, let's talk to Emily Evans. Emily, I see you're almost with us. Always takes a minute to get into that Zoom room. Emily, you here?
Hola, yep, I am here.
Can we see you? Can you turn on your video?
I'm working on it.
Awesome. While you're doing that, I'm going to announce that the winner of the tech package, so that is a choice of an iPad case. So that is a choice of an iPad case, or a Bluetooth tabletop speaker. And it is Bits, Faf Gordon, an alumni. Woohoo! Everybody say yay. Let's see if I can help you get that video going. Emily, of course, as Coach McCauley mentioned in the interview we just saw, is joining the coaching staff. No stranger to coaching. Emily has coached fast pitch at the high school and played at a very high level fast pitch. I believe the one year we played in Chicago, the next day you had a tryout for professional fast pitch. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. Sorry, I can't get my camera to work, so I'm not sure.
Well, we'll just talk.
All right, sounds good.
Which is fine. So
yeah, I did. It was pretty awesome, and it was. I always call it the best and yet worst experience of my life because we kind of got beat up that game, and then I went and tried out the next day, and I really couldn't move. So yeah.
Yep. I remember that, I've been playing for a long time, and my husband said that was one of the few times that he was actually worried about someone getting injured. In fact, we did have a player get a pretty serious head injury during that game. But looking at 2021, this marks a transition year for you because you are coming off some surgery, which I'll let you tell us about as much as you like, and taking over the quarterback's coach position.
Yes. Yeah, I'm super excited to make this transition. Obviously, nothing's going to be like playing, but working into the position that you've been playing for a lot of years, and I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. So yeah, as far as the injury thing goes, nobody likes to get taken out of the game that you love with an injury, but it was a lot of years of passion, and I ended up having a hip replacement this summer, so that it kind of made me not play football anymore, but I'll still be around as much as I can. Can't get rid of me. So
now here's a question. If your doctors approved you playing football, would you again?
Yes. Yes.
Which I think is the answer most of us would give. When you think about 2021, I know you've already been working with some of the quarterbacks and especially a couple of rookie prospects. What's your approach for the upcoming season?
Just the preparation of stuff. I have a philosophy as a coach where I want the quarterbacks or my athletes to know what I'm thinking or be able to correct themselves before I can even tell them what I want from them. So my goal with them is for them to be able to understand what the feelings are of how to throw the ball correctly, going through, when I say they're not using their legs, what that feels like to them. And then once they get that down, my goal here is hopefully to get some of that out of the way before our season starts, because when season starts, you're all kind of thrown into it and you're expected to learn a lot in a short amount of time. So especially with these rookies that have not played football before, it's a brand new thing to them. So stepping into a quarterback role is going to be even tougher. So I'm going to be depending on my returning quarterback, Erin McIsaac, for that one, and just to help push our athletes along. So
right. Can you talk a little bit about how you develop the leadership qualities of a quarterback? The leader of the offense, oftentimes the leader of the team as a whole because of their primary position.
Yeah, one of the things that really helped me was the fact that I did not start out as a quarterback. Starting out as a line player, I was on the offensive line. I played everything way back in the day, but offensive line was probably the most important role that I could have learned before becoming the quarterback, because I know what they're thinking, what their goals are, how important, how much I felt badly when my quarterback ended up on the ground. That's probably one of the biggest feelings that I have with my line, was knowing that they cared that much about me. But yeah, just knowing how much, how important those other positions and the other roles are. And then that helped me with the leadership role as a quarterback, just appreciating everything else that was happening out there. Putting others, understanding what their roles are, okay, making sure that they knew what they were doing too, being able to read my players was super important as well.
Do you see a lot of difficulty transitioning to the throwing mechanics? Like you, I played a lot of softball growing up, fast pitch in college. I was a catcher. So I had to unlearn a lot of things about throwing a softball to be able to throw a football mediocrely. I'm still not very good at it.
Yeah.
So, can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I struggled big time way back in the day because, I mean, any quarterback that comes in and says, oh, I can't throw a spiral. I'm like, yeah, well, you should have seen my spiral. Like, it wasn't a spiral. There was no spiral involved in it. It went end over end. It went hard, but it went end over end. So there was no spiral. And I knew I wanted to play quarterback, even though I was on the line. So I focused those 2 years on making sure I knew how to throw a spiral. I have no idea how I did it. I still have Coach Griff. He's always like, I don't know how you did it, but it looked more natural throwing left-handed than right-handed, but you did it. And so I did spend some really quality years making sure I could transfer over what I knew to a whole different way of throwing though too. So I did spend some crucial years several years ago, just like making sure I knew the correct way. Even though I knew how to throw a spiral, it wasn't very pretty. It wasn't the best. And now spending all the years that I did focusing on it, I mean, yes, softball, you can throw a ball, but in softball and baseball, you pull down on the ball. In football, you don't want to pull down on the ball. You have to focus so much on that extension. And once you get that extension down, then that's when everything kind of else comes together though. But yeah.
Spoken like a true, fundamentally solid player and coach, which we all appreciate very much. Now, you also do some things off the field that are pretty interesting, including helping coordinate some recent charity drives for the team.
Yes. Yeah, there's been a couple, and I was just talking to Charlie Cook today and about her food drive that they put together. And so it was pretty exciting about the amount of food that was brought in. We just went around, Nicole and I went around today picking up from other players, fans, family, picking up a whole lot of items. Tomorrow we're going to be sorting through shelter donations that we collected. And then this week we're going to be dropping them off at the shelters. But yeah, it's been really exciting just seeing all the participation with all these things. And people want to get involved these days. Sometimes people just don't know how to get involved. So that was just kind of one of the things that we were able to do.
Mm-hmm. As you were talking to the shelters and the food shelves, was there a sense that I mean, it's obvious that giving is down this year, but like how badly are they hurting? Was there a discussion about, you know, we could really use certain things or just cash because we can make it stretch further?
Yeah. Yeah, we were given actually a list because we didn't want to just collect anything. And in the end, we ended up collecting pretty much anything so we could sort through it and donate to other people if need be. But yeah, they had a whole list of things, and a lot of items include electronics because schools are such a big thing right now, online schools, distance learning, and some of these kids in the shelters don't have access to making sure they can get to their classes or find extra ways to research. But that's one of the big things, like just maybe Chromebooks or headphones, or I know there's needs for, I'm trying to think what else. A lot of entertainment type things, games, I know we just had an Xbox donated, which was really cool to get from ours. And yeah, we're just trying to, those kind of items are more so the hard things to get with electronics.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, thank you, Emily, for joining us on Vixen Live. And we are so much looking forward to seeing you make that successful transition from player to coach. We know you'll be great at it. And we're excited to see what happens in 2021. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
Awesome. So next up on the program tonight, we have another interview with a player. You saw this player at the very open of the show if you were watching. This is Sil Winton. Hey out there in Vixen land, we are here today with Sil Winton, number 32, linebacker extraordinaire. Sil, tell us your football story.
Oh man, my football story probably goes back to 1996. I played like flag football and stuff like growing up. Always wanted to play football, and in junior high at that time, like females playing football at that time was just not a thing. And my mom was like, "No, you'll probably get hurt." And I was like, "But I'm bigger than everybody." I didn't really quite understand. But did win the punt, pass, and kick in 96 at the YMCA. So I do have that trophy on the shelves. But that's kind of where it started. And then, I mean, in 2019, so I was married, and my ex-wife and I, like, we both worked for the same company. We worked out the same way. We had a lot of similarities. And I was just really craving some dichotomy in our relationship and needed something different to do. And so one of our other coworkers, Ace, worked for Lifetime also, and I knew that they played for the Vixen. And so like I started talking to them like about it, and then started to play flag football in like the fall of 2019, and then just decided to try out. Like flag football was just my gateway drug.
That's a common story. Yeah.
Full on tackle, right? Because like I think I only made it to a couple of games, but I was like, but we can't hit anybody. So then I went to tryouts and made the team. You know, that was fall of 18 then, right? Because then 2019 was my rookie season, and didn't really know what I was getting into, but loved it and tried to play again this year. And so I got like 1 year and 2 months under my belt as far as football goes. So that's kind of the quick and dirty.
Did you know much about the different, did you know much about tackle football, like all the rules and how it worked before you came to the game?
I mean, I dabbled. Like I didn't have an in-depth high IQ of football like you do per se, you know, but like, I mean, I knew offense and defense and positions and, you know, but as far as like how to tackle anybody and, you know, break down steps and footwork and, you know, all this other stuff, I did not know the details of that. I played basketball all through college. So I figured being an athletic type of a human, I could probably pick up on it. But I mean, just a little bit of knowledge, but not an expert by any means. And I mean, you were a huge tool for me in my rookie year. You know what I mean? Like I learned so much from you and from like RJ and everyone else just like chirping in my ear all the time. And then just trying to take that and then literally run with it and hit with it. So
right. Describe the feeling of your first good tackle, like the first tackle you were proud of. Talk about that.
Oh, gosh, I don't even remember like the first actual one. I feel like our first game was in Kansas City, and I remember the first like time like getting up on the line and just being like, oh boy, here we go, or whatever. Right. And there was a couple of times where like I blitzed through like the A or the B gap, and I remember Ace coming up to me after one of the hits or whatever, and they're like, all right, now you're really doing it or something. Like just, I can't remember what they said, but
right.
I was like, yeah, but I'm also like, but am I doing it? Like you're just kind of having this out of body experience. So I don't, you know, remember like that first like really good one, but I know there were some good ones.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, one thing I've noticed after 20 years of playing is that the game has slowed down a lot for me. And I'm able to like see things happen a little easier. How fast do you feel like the game goes when you're playing? Is it a blur? Do you consciously think about things as they happen?
I mean, I feel like when you're on the field, it's a blur. And I feel like also on the defensive side, it can depend on how fast their offense plays. You know, some teams just rip quick. Some teams take forever in the huddle. And then but like that on the field's completely different than if we're on the sideline forever. If our offense is marching down the field, and I know as defensive players, sometimes we feel like, holy smokes, like we've been out here for a while, but they're just doing their job and marching down the field. So I feel like it's fast when you're out there, but it can be slow when you're not out there. And just from snap to snap, it can vary too.
Right. Now you've mentioned CrossFit, basketball. Are there any significant differences in the athletic needs or even the fitness to play tackle football?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I went from being an agile, like smaller human in college and playing basketball, and you're cutting and jabbing and twisting and turning and doing all these things to CrossFit is very much up and down or this way and this way. You don't twist and turn necessarily in CrossFit, right? Like you're pushing or you're pulling.
Right.
And so my body was trained like that then for about 5 years, right? So then to go into football again or go back into more, transverse motion and cutting and jabbing again, it was like, what's going on? But also like, this feels great, and it's not just about brute strength like CrossFit can be. And sometimes CrossFit's about, gymnastics and mobility and all that stuff too. But I mean, football, basketball, it's about speed, agility, quickness, IQ, like you said, seeing things almost before they happen, right? Like, and then reaction, all that stuff. So it was a really good mix up or change up for me. I'm glad I made the switch because my body was getting pretty broken doing CrossFit, and now it's like actually like healing because it's taking better care of it, and it responds better to sports versus just the grunt work of lift. So
yeah, I think that's an interesting aspect of the CrossFit workout, because while it is a workout, I mean, you are definitely tired and spent by the end of a typical CrossFit workout. But at a certain point, your 19th thruster or whatever, you're like, okay, my body's just doing this. Whereas football, every play is different. The average football play is 4 seconds from snap to whistle, right? Yep. So in that 4 seconds, you could do almost every movement you might find in a CrossFit workout. And I find that really interesting.
Yeah. Like there's no 4 second AMRAPs in CrossFit, and I think CrossFit was my way of holding on to competition, right? Because from being an athlete, like my whole life, and then being done in college, and then moving to the cities and being a trainer, and then, being other people's coach and motivation, but still trying to find something to compete within myself. Like I found that in CrossFit, right? I was like, well, I'm either competing against myself or with a teammate or on a team against other people. It was just kind of my way of hanging on to competition, and then just realizing that it was burning me out, and I needed to get back to a sport with a ball that wasn't weighted,
right?
Involved,
Right.
Yeah.
So the 2020 season wasn't. We sort of missed that one, skipped that one. What are you most looking forward to in 2021?
Oh man. I think just getting back to like moving like that type of an athlete again. I think just getting back to practicing, the space that we're going to have this year in 2021 and having more dome time is going to be huge for us as just humans and our physical wellness, and not being cooped up in the gym that we were in. I'm looking forward to that, and hitting people sooner.
Yes. Hitting all the things.
I don't know how we don't talk about that. Hitting people sooner for sure. And then it's just going to be a mental toughness game of getting through 4 months of practicing before we can actually go hit other people.
Right. Because you always, even in full contact drills, it's still your own teammate. And so there's a little bit of you that says, I probably shouldn't unload completely. Right. And I'm also very excited to be able to not hit people completely sooner. And get in there and really fine tune that mad dog attitude that we all have to have on defense. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I think just like playing again and then being able to play with less like hesitate. I mean, as a rookie, I know I played like with hesitation and with like timidness sometimes, just out of like, lack of knowledge or whatever, but I feel like just having that 1 year under my belt, like I'm going to be more confident and just be able to like even just hit harder, go harder. My body's healthier even than when it was last year. So like I'm looking forward to that. And just that championship, baby.
Yeah. No, I also think the year off might have been a little bit of blessing in disguise. I know a lot of us were kind of the walking wounded after the 2019 season. That was it is a grind. You know, you're basically throwing yourself into the equivalent of a mild to moderate car accident on a regular basis. So, you know, hey.
Yeah. I think it was, like you said, like kind of a blessing in disguise. And I think a lot of our teammates took care of themselves this year. And I think we're just gonna like all be like just ready to go.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to beat us. Absolutely.
Yep.
So tell me about the most surprising thing you've experienced since starting to play for the Vixen.
The most surprising thing? I mean, I guess I was surprised at how good I was at football. I mean, I didn't know I was going to.
Really?
I mean, you don't know, you know. I mean, I guess I was surprised with myself, like pleasantly surprised. And I was really like pleasantly surprised just with the camaraderie that our team has, right? Like in the acceptance and like the welcoming of just like whoever you are as a human and you want to play for the Vixen, like you can be that human. You know what I mean? Like there's no pretending to be something you're not on this team. Like maybe some people have to do when they go to work or when they are around their family or like whatever, like this family, it doesn't matter who you are. Like you get to be yourself. And I think that was a really big piece for me too, as a human and continuing to grow with who I am, of just having the support of our team and like our coaches and acceptance and respect and other teammates just wanting to know more about like who I am as a human and then how that could maybe like, you know, ripple into their world and how they would talk to like their kids or maybe someone they work with or something like that. So like, I think that was really surprising.
So you'd say the Vixen have been sort of an impetus and a backdrop for some personal growth?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I wouldn't be where I am in life right now today if I didn't play for the Vixen. You know, like my life completely changed in between 2019 and right now, you know, like, and being a part of the Vixen was a huge part of like that support system for me. The people that I met, whether on the team or the coaching staff or at Northwestern Health Sciences, like all those people that take care of us there. I mean, our announcers, all of those things, right? Like all of that played a part in feeling supported as a human.
Right.
You know?
Right. And at this point, I should probably point out Sil is about 6 feet tall and what, 190-ish, 200-ish?
Oh, I've gotten a little smallish.
Okay.
I'm probably more like 185-ish now.
Nice. Okay. Well, no, that's great. But you know, I am just north of 5 feet tall and about 160 pounds. So those of you out there listening, we want you to know that it doesn't matter what size you are, as long as you have the heart to come out and try this game.
Absolutely. I am a tall linebacker, and sometimes I wish I was your size because it would be a lot easier just to scoot right through those gaps.
It's true. You know, you wait for that double team to set up, and then you just kind of squirt on the side, and it works pretty well. Yeah. What's been the hardest thing about coming to football as an adult?
Probably. I mean, just you kind of reconfigure your work-life balance, right? Because
it's a commitment.
I mean, some of our practices are super late, or they're early on the weekends, and with work schedules and being a puppy parent, like just trying to balance all of that and still take care of myself, hit my workouts, take care of my dog, get plenty of sleep, make sure we're recovering. You know, like there's so many pieces that go into being a professional athlete, but we're still professionals at our jobs and with our families and all those other things. And so I think a lot of us feel that with when the season comes and practice starts, of just we're rearranging the pieces again of, okay, we can do this here and just making it work because we want, to play this game. So we figure it out.
Right. Like the other day, my husband was noting that there were a lot of dishes in the sink, and I'm like, well, I had to work out and there were other things to do. And he's like, oh, we're in football season again, aren't we? I'm like, yes, we are.
Yes, we're starting early. Just get ready.
Right.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone watching this who's like, this sounds totally awesome, but football? What do you say to that person?
Don't knock it till you try it. Right? I mean, I think any person that has just the littlest tingle about maybe I should do that, like, do it. Mm-hmm. And then you'll know if it's for you or if it's not for you. Otherwise, if you don't do it or try it, you'll never know. And then we can be in our next pandemic and you're going to be like, man, I wish I would have tried out for the Vixen when the fog lifted, but I didn't,
Right.
I don't know. I guess I've always just kind of had that mindset of like, well, if I'm slightly interested in something, like I'm going to listen to my gut or the universe, and I'm just at least go try it. And then I know.
Right.
So
nothing ventured, nothing gained. Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Nice. So you said you're a puppy parent.
Mm-hmm.
One dog, two dogs? What?
Just the one rascal. Clark.
Nice.
Clark. Yeah.
If you get another one, you should name it Kent, right? Because then.
Or a girl dog and name it Lois. I don't know.
There you go. Right. There you go.
I don't know. He's kind of enough as it is right now.
Right. So. Yeah. This is why we have a cat, because, you can just kind of pour the bowl full of food, leave a little bit of water, walk away for a day, and you're okay. So
and they don't tear your house apart.
Well, they do and they do and they don't. Yeah. We have spooky time about 10:30 every night. We have laps. Yeah. Around the
witching hour.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to tell the Vixen fans?
Get your tickets.
Right.
Tune in on Saturday, or I guess you're probably tuning in if you're watching this.
Thanks for watching, right? Yeah.
Thanks for watching. I guess I'm not sure where our games are going to be played this year or if you can even come, but I mean, tuning in online is just as great. Our announcers are phenomenal. And we play some seriously good football. So you won't miss out.
This is true.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Silly Vision on the webcam, right there. Yep, the glasses and everything. Tell us about the glasses. What's the story behind that?
Oh my gosh. So I recently, and I don't know, everyone's gonna probably knock on me for this, but I'm late to the game with watching Schitt's Creek. Okay, I'm late to the game.
I haven't watched any either, so I'm later than you.
But I've been binging it, and I'm still not done with all of it because I'm trying to pace it out. But I love David. And anyone that's on my Facebook probably knows that I dressed up for him as Halloween. The more I watch it, the more I pick up on his mannerisms. It used to be Jonathan Van Ness, but I've slowly have turned into a David. And I love his fashion, and he wears sexy glasses. And so I got this as part of my costume thing for Halloween. And then I went to a drag show that was themed Schitt's Creek, and it was phenomenal. It was right before the shutdown.
Yeah.
But I started to wear them, and then I was like, oh, I kind of dislike it. So so sometimes I just wear them when I want to be a little extra. Just be a little extra.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. Yeah. I think we might see some more of those glasses later on in the show.
Stay tuned.
Fact.
A little special treat.
Right. Well, again, come to a game this year. You can donate to Sil directly or to any other player you might be interested in on this 2021 Vixen team using the link below. So mnvixen.com, and then look for Adopt-a-Vixen. Thanks, everybody. See you in 2021.
Have a great night.
football just caught me. It's like I tried soccer for 2 years, and I feel like football is just more thinking and more action.
My parents didn't want me to play when I was younger because it was a boys' sport, and they're like, we don't want you to do that. So I was a dancer and did gymnastics and stuff. But in 8th grade, I finally decided to play tackle football and just really enjoyed it. And I was kind of looking for a team, a women's, even flag football, and then I found out about the Vixen, and I'm trying out, I'm doing it.
This is my 20th season. You know, I've had this weird fascination with football since I've been 5 years old. And I've loved football. I watched the Vikings when I was a kid. I watched the Gophers when I was a kid.
I go by Red, a.k.a. Nana Poo. I'm a grandmother of 4. This is my 20th season. I play D-tackle. I play nose. I do engagement for at-risk youth. So I'm kind of like a lead assistant dean at a high school. That's my passion. My second passion, of course, is football.
Everyone is surprised. Everyone's, oh my gosh, you're so little. Like, do you even play? Like, are you on the sideline? Like, no, I get playing time. Aren't they like so much bigger than you? Yeah, they are, but you don't let that intimidate you.
What I've always believed in is like sport to sports. There's no definition on it. It's not about gender. It's about if you want to play a sport, you should be able to play it.
We have got all walks of life. We've got all sorts of people, and you can't beat that.
These last several years, we've seen it really expand, where we've had like 150 women who tried out for the team this year, and we're carrying a roster right now of about 60 women. Our league has over 60 teams all across the nation. It's about your motivation and your attitude while you're doing it. What are you putting into each single rep that you do tonight that makes yourself a better football player?
What I'm most excited about is being able to leave something behind that little girls can look up to playing and look forward to playing. Not powder puff, not, oh, I want to play, but I got to try out for the boys team and then sitting there, but just give them something that, I can actually go play, and get better at it. And they get better and they go work harder because they got something to work for.
Okay, time for a drawing. We are now going to give away the Under Armour backsack. It's the new style of drawstring backpack that Under Armour just released like a month ago. It's got the Vixen logo on it. There's a picture of it on our Facebook page. It was posted, I think, today or the day before, as well as a Vixen t-shirt in the size of your choice. And this one goes to John Olson, supporting Amy Mugas, who we actually are about to see once again, although it's probably more of an alter ego kind of situation.
Go Vixen! So yeah, Oma is a woman that I love very much, and so yeah, that song was about her. But there is another thing that I love very much, and that is the Minnesota Vikings. Skål! So yeah, I do love the Vikings, but they play in the Minneapolis, and got a bone to pick with Minneapolis. Me and Oma, we went to the cities because we were just gonna, do the touristy thing. And yeah, what happened was she got a little bit lost, and she called me and she was like, "My goodness, I'm lost." And I was like, "Oh, Oma, goodness, where are you?" And she said, "Well, looks like I'm on the corner of Vak and Don't Vak." And I said, "Well, I'm also on the corner of Vak and Don't Vak. Why don't we see each other?" So yeah, in Minneapolis, I don't know why you got all your corners named the same thing, but got a little confusing. Eventually, we did find each other. But I do have this little song about the Minnesota Vikings and the fall in Minnesota. So yeah, I hope you can enjoy this and maybe sing along. Well, I was drinking my beer because I shot my deer, just regular Saturday night. Took a look around and everything is brown, gonna freeze tonight. Minnesota Fall Vikings football, here we go again. Our song is a steaming hot dish, one something to our neighbors to the east over there, on the other side of the cheddar curtain. Why are you the way you are? Maybe how can we get that way? And if nothing else, can you just send us some beer? Our song is a steaming hot dish. One Super Bowl is all we wish. When you say wide right, too soon it just ain't right. Our song is a close call. Don't look now, we got the football in our 4th and 2. What do we do? We lose to Seattle again. Score! Score!
I could watch Mike Goodness all day. I don't know why I find him so funny, but I had to make sure I was on mute during that last one because I laugh so hard when I watch Mike do his thing. Next up, we have an interview with our very own MN announcer guy, Brian Sweeney. Obviously, if you've been to a game, you've heard him on our PA, and we also have a great giveaway after the interview. We're giving away a game day experience with Mr. Sweeney. Now, we don't quite know what game day is going to look like in 2021, but we are very confident that MN Announcer Guy will figure out a way to give you a great time in a booth or a game day experience of some sort. So get those Adopt-a-Vixen donations in. You've got about 15 or 20 minutes. That's how long the interview is to get in that donation to the team in general or a player of your choice. There is an option to do either or both on the form. Also, for that grand prize we're giving away later of a $250 Delta travel voucher, if you donate more than $50, you get an extra chance in that grand prize drawing. And if you donate more than $100, you get 2 extra chances in that grand prize drawing. We also want to tell you that those dollar amounts are cumulative. So sponsor 5 Vixen at $10 each, get yourself that $50 extra chance in the grand prize drawing. Same way for $100. So go forth and donate. Hey out there in Vixen Land, we're here today with Brian Sweeney, also known as Minnesota Announcer Guy, MN Announcer Guy. If you've been to a Vixen game, you have heard his dulcet tones coming loud and clear over the PA. And we're going to talk a little bit today about some exciting things that are coming up for the 2021 season and hear a little bit about MN Announcer Guy's career, how he got to be MN Announcer Guy, and what he thinks the 2021 season might be like from an announcing perspective. So
thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for giving us the time. So your real name, of course, is Brian Sweeney. So do people mostly call you Brian, or do people say, hey, MN Announcer Guy, how are you doing?
It depends on what I'm announcing for. Usually when it comes to the WFA and women's football, it's always Announcer Guy, which is why I have that for my Twitter handle, my Instagram handle, my Facebook handle, my email, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. But I mean, like if I'm doing high school sports or college sports, then it's typically just Brian. So you're not allowed to have a persona, so to speak, when you're doing those levels of items.
Sure. So how many organizations and sports teams are you helping out these days?
Well, this is only going to be a 10-minute interview, but we'll see if we can get all this in for you here. All right. So we'll start with the fall. The fall at the high school level, I do high school football for Simley High School. At the college level fall for Concordia University St. Paul, I do their football and their women's soccer, and I fill in for volleyball. In the winter months, when I'm most busy, I fill in for the University of Minnesota Gophers, both men and women. The University of St. Thomas, I am their full-time men's announcer, and I am becoming their full-time women's announcer for ice hockey. For Simley High School, I do the boys and girls ice hockey, and I also fill in for dance. And then in the spring, I do Minnesota Vixen, obviously. I do for Simley High School, their baseball program. I fill in for their boys lacrosse program. And for Concordia St. Paul, I do their women's lacrosse program. Also, as needed, I have filled in for Simley's volleyball, Simley's basketball. I do some free announcing for the Minnesota Warriors project, which is a ice hockey team for veterans that have been injured in the line of duty or in the whatever it is. I also do some other dance announcing around the state. And of course, for the WFA, I do the Women's National Championship for the Division I level. I've been doing that since 2018 for their ESPN3 coverage. I think I got it all in there.
Wow. So all seasons, all levels, all sports. That's pretty amazing because you've not been doing this for a terribly long time, have you?
No, I mean, if you want to look at when the first event I did was in 2009, and that was a watercross event. People that don't know what watercross is, think motocross racing, only it's on a snowmobile on a lake. So they're racing their snowmobiles on open water in the middle of summer. That's what watercross is. I did that in 2009, and then I really didn't do anything again till the fall of 2014, when I started getting ready to do my first season of Simley High School hockey. And then my first Vixen season was in 2015. And then everything kind of snowballed after that.
Right. Let's see. So were you there in the booth when we did our double overtime win against the New York Sharks? You were there, weren't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was my second season with the
Nice.
Vixen, actually, when that happened. And
Yeah.
it was something to be up there for that. And
Walk us through a moment like that. I'm fascinated to know how'd you feel? What was it like? Yeah.
Being the public address announcer for something like that is a slightly different than if I would have been the play-by-play commentator, obviously, because that person would have seen Crystal pick off that ball at pretty much the goal line and run, 99 yards for that touchdown in the double overtime. And they would have been like, she's going to the 50, the 45, the 40, the 35, the 30 as they're counting down. She's getting close to the end zone. But in reality, for my aspect of it, I was up there. I have a spotter up there with me, Jason Stuvey's been my spotter since I started with the Vixen. And basically, we see the interception and my microphone is off until it's time to speak. And I'm like, who's got the ball? Who caught the ball? Who's got it? Who's got it? Which way? And I'm trying to get all my statistics in line so that as soon as the play's over, I can turn that microphone on and make that announcement just happen, because, my job then is to basically recap, Crystal Ninas with the 99-yard interception return for the touchdown, Fins win, that
Right.
kind of thing, as opposed to telling you as it's happening. I have to tell you right immediately after it's happened.
Right. Yeah. That was definitely a game for the ages, in many, many ways. So turning to 2021, tell us a little bit about what you're planning for the Vixen. I know there's some very exciting stuff with 11 Sports.
Yeah. The players, they obviously know the tryouts start in September, October, and then they start with their conditioning in November, December, and then in January, they start with practices for those games that, typically start the first week in April. However, in 2021, May 1st is going to, of course, be the start of the season. And myself, my team, believe it or not, we start in September also. For the last few years, I have been the person that's responsible for when you see who's doing the coin toss, whether it's Cheryl Reeve, Cy Huff, or Maddie Weddington that we had from the Gopher hockey program 2 seasons ago. So, I'm always the person that's getting that stuff figured out. National anthem singers, a few years back, we had Mike Schmidt, who was a Minnesota Wild national anthem singer for a number of years. Then we had Elizabeth McCarlson that's been singing with us for the last couple of years. So I've already got some national anthem singers lined up for 2021. Then we look at halftime shows as well. Right. We've got halftime shows that I figured out. So, my work is almost all season, just as it is for Coach McCauley or the owner, Laura Brown, or yourself, or anybody else that's on the players committee through the WFA. We're working all year trying to figure this stuff out. And you brought up some exciting things. 11 Sports, of course, last year was going to have a game of the week, which this fun virus that's been going around the country. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's delayed a few things here and there for people. I think it's just a minor inconvenience, nothing really big. But 11 Sports this year, we're going to be back on 11 Sports with a game of the week. And myself, Alex Wested, we've got, I'm remembering his name right now. I'm gonna have to look this up and you're gonna have to edit it. Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
Emery.
Yes.
Yes. We are going to have a show weekly. I don't know if it's going to be live, I'm assuming it's tape delay, but I don't know if it's going to be on sports itself before the game of the week. I don't know if they're going to play it during the half times, but we're going to break down WFA games. We're going to talk about, which teams are succeeding, what these other teams need to do better. If records are made, like, somebody did a 101-yard punt return or something like that. We're going to get those highlight clips. We're going to get that information out there to the fans, and we're going to give the people that have appreciated women's tackle football all these years just that next nugget of information, that next bit of excitement. And we're going to hopefully use that to pull even more fans into these games.
That's so awesome. I know that it's also been announced that 11 and FTF are getting picked up on Roku TV as well. So anyone who has a Roku TV will be able to fire up those channels right from the front menu, which is just kind of amazing. I was here when we played in high school stadiums and didn't have PA announcers. And in fact, most of our fields were still natural grass. And if it rained, well, you got pretty muddy. So that's
and it never rains in April for those games.
Right. It just snows. The blizzard bowl of what do we call it? The ice bowl of 2017 comes to mind in Milwaukee. That's where a 6-hour drive home turned into, I believe, a 12-hour marathon. That was something.
Yes. And of course, with myself being involved with the team now since 2015 and my wife being involved with the team now since 2017, we did that fun drive to Milwaukee in that blizzard as well. And I remember myself on the sideline before the game, Michelle Brown, Longspur at the time, she was snapping them to me in that weather, and just to make sure that she would know how to get that ball snapped in those conditions, because it was I'm sure it was fun to play once you were out on the field, but standing on the sidelines was not very fun for that game.
Right. I remember looking down in the third quarter and saying, you know what, I can't tell where the lines are because the sleet is the same color. And I couldn't see any of the green anymore. So yeah, adventures in women's football. Yeah. So talk about 2021 from who are you watching? I mean, the Vixen, obviously, we're always in the mix, but who else is making you excited right now?
To be honest with you, I I've still got the 2020 schedule on my calendar that never happened. So I really haven't started looking too far into 2021. I haven't given up on 2020 yet, although I should have months ago. Obviously, once we get going here, I'm going to start to do my homework. Boston Renegades, they're always fun to watch. Cali Wars, fun to watch. The Slam always has a strong team. So I didn't say they were fun to watch though. But we're gonna have to figure out, who's gonna be the hard hitters this year. I mean, last year was supposed to be the Vixens' first time at the Division I level in the WFA. Again, the pandemic put that on hold. This year, I would assume they're still going D1. I have not heard either way from any source, so I guess I can't be quoted as saying yes or no. But again, I would assume that plan is still in place for the Vixen to be a D1 team this year. And in my opinion, looking at who we had last year in 2020 that were going to be our incoming rookies, and knowing what my professional Facebook stalking has found on the rookie class for 2021. Because I mean, I'll be honest with you, as soon as Laura puts something up that there's a player, I'm on their Facebook page. Okay, what's this lady's athletic background? Do they go to the gym and work out? Are they sedentary? Et cetera. I want to make sure I know as much information as possible. And then too, it's like, okay, are they going to have a nickname? I mean, we've had Train, we've had Tank, we've had Red, we've had Moose, obviously. Does this person deserve a nickname? Or they earn a nickname? And so it's going to be exciting to see what develops. But I'm looking forward to a great season. Tim Rice is going to be back up in the booth again with me. He joined the Vixen organization. 1918. I think 2018 was his first year in the organization. Tim, if you're at a game, he's the one that's playing the music and the sound effects at the appropriate times. He's the one that's, he helps Jason spot for when it's needed. Tim and I, we go to Twins games, we go to other sporting events and things like that. And we don't go there to enjoy the game. We go there to see what's going on behind the scenes. What contests are they doing? How can they how we get the fans more involved? Oh, that's a good song. We better download that, those types of things. So Tim's going to be up there again this year. He's looking forward to a great season. So we're going to bring that part of the fan base in. Of course, as everybody has already seen, we're going to have a pep band this year at the Vixen games, which is going to be very exciting. We've been talking, and the Funky Spuds are going to be there, and he and I have already worked out a few surprises that we know that the players are going to enjoy, especially at the start of the fourth quarter.
Nice. Oh, okay. I think I might have an idea there. I will say, as an old school gamer, I very much appreciated Tim's Mario sound effects. I think he brings out the 1-up and the little coin ding at various times. Those are very appreciated by an old school gamer like me. So what I'm really fascinated by how much homework goes into this. So for every, a game is about 3 hours long. So how much prep time for an average game?
Well, for a typical game, I have about a 16-page script. And those 16 pages, basically it starts an hour before kickoff, and everything is back timed to kickoff. Working with Town Square Television all these years, them broadcasting our home games in high definition, which is spectacular. And then now this past couple of years, we've been trying to sneak in the road games as well through the Facebook app and things of that nature. But everything's back timed to that kickoff. And, we know that at this time, we're going to play warm-up music. And at this time, we're going to do the national anthem. I have Beth that's been with the team now for 3 years also, and her job is behind the scenes as it is. I would be lost without her. on the script, it's broken down. Tim has his on what he's doing at specific times. Beth has hers. You know, there's a reason that we always start the national anthem at a specific time, and that's so that we make sure that when television comes live into it, we're not in the middle of the anthem, because there's nothing worse than, you know, okay, you go live and then they can't say anything because they're not supposed to talk at that time.
Right.
So we do the anthem at a specific time so that when the television goes live, the anthem is over, we're ready to go. They can introduce the game and things like that. So, you know, it's Beth's job to make sure that whoever our national anthem singer is, they're at a specific point at a specific time. And then she's talking with the coin toss people, the halftime people, to make sure they get there. You know, you talk about homework for both the 2016 conference championship game and the 2018 conference championship game. I'm sure you remember that we had a flyover during the national anthem. And for an instance like that, it took myself and the people that I worked with the airplane, you know, we had to back time everything just right, so that, because if the anthem singer didn't start on time, they wouldn't hit the end of the song at the right time, which means the plane would come at the wrong time to fly over the stadium. So we do a lot of homework. You know, we have specific advertisers that we read at certain times of the games. As far as, you know, are they a first quarter advertiser, a second quarter advertiser? You know, you want some of your bigger advertisements are done right before halftime, because people aren't gonna necessarily get up before halftime. They might leave a game early if it's a blowout one way or another, if the weather's bad. But in halftime, they're usually in their seats right until that final second ticks off the clock. So you want to make sure you get those advertisers in there, and just everything else that we've got going on. You know, we have Kelly Schultz, Sean Parker doing the home games for television, Sean on the play-by-play, Kelly on the color commentary. They both have great professional careers as well. I mean, Sean's the voice of the Minnesota Timberwolves if you're in the arena at the Target Center. Kelly Schultz, she does the play-by-play for the Bemidji Beavers women's hockey team. And she also does the play-by-play for the Minnesota Whitecaps women's professional hockey team. You have Alex Westhead that does play-by-play on the road games, or myself doing the color commentary. You know, and Alex does public address announcing and play-by-play for Mounds View High School, White Bear Lake High School, and then he actually fills in and does color commentary for the Minnesota Whitecaps when Kelly can't make the games. And at those times, their normal color commentator does the play-by-play, and then Alex does the color commentary. And I can't remember her name right now, and she's going to be mad at me when I don't remember her name. So I'm sorry.
That is so, again, fascinating. It truly takes a village to make, you know, you think about there's 11 people on the field at a time, but, you know, you've just rattled off 8 in the last couple of minutes that you work with to make sure that the people watching the game, whether they're, you know, in the stadium or just hearing it ambient over the TV broadcast, everything has timing and place. And so I'll tell you from a player perspective that having you guys, having you folks there and doing that for us and making our games so professional, and then we go other places and that's not what happens.
Oh yeah. You know, when we do the road games, Alex and we send emails to the other teams if we have questions about any of the ways to pronounce a name, write things out phonetically. And then we also, Alex, myself, Sean, and Kelly, we do our best to recognize chosen pronouns that players use. You know, obviously, now more than ever, it's important to recognize people for their chosen pronouns, whether it's she, he, they, them, you know, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, a person deserves the respect of not only having their name pronounced correctly, but also their pronoun pronounced correctly. And we're kind of proud of the fact that we take that time to do that.
Absolutely. I do a podcast with a player from the Boston Renegades, and we just finished an episode about that, both transgender and non-binary players in the WFA. And that is, again, so important now. The Vixen, you know, every year we bring together 60 plus people, actually it's probably closer to 100, who just have to all survive together for 7 months in this big fishbowl. And it becomes apparent very quickly that if you can't accept someone for who they are, you're not going to have a long tenure with this team, because that's one of the things.
Yep. And this all goes back to the first time that I met Laura. I met her at Farmington High School. It was a Vixen game in 2014. My daughter and I had just left Canterbury Downs watching the third leg of the Triple Crown. And so we were coming back through. We thought we'd stop. I had never met Laura before. I had met James a couple times through a mutual friend. And I was introduced to Laura, and we were there at the game, my daughter and I, and we were listening to the PA announcer. And I literally, and I'm not just saying this, and I'm not trying to make myself sound any better than anybody else, but I went up to Laura and I said, "You're announcer here. I can do better if you want." And she called my bluff, and here we are all these years later. And I obviously I'm still doing better, because here I am.
We're not about
with more and more responsibilities, and the WFA gives me a call now to help them out with the annual championship. I was lucky enough when you were inducted into the Women's Football Hall of Fame that I got to be the person to personally induct you into the Hall of Fame, which was kind of cool. And so, I mean, Laura called my bluff, and I'm paying the price for it, apparently.
As the saying goes, there's nothing better than being punished for being good at your job. Absolutely.
I've never heard that. I like that one.
So once again, thank you so much to Brian Sweeney, MN Announcer Guy. You can find him at that handle across all social media, except I think for YouTube, you've said.
Yep, I'm not on YouTube. There's no, people want to hear me. This is a face for radio, or a face for a speaker, not for the screen.
Right. One of my favorite lines from a movie is John Cusack in Grosse Point Blank. "I'm going to beat you until you're too ugly for radio." So yeah, that's
there you go.
I totally get that. Awesome. Well, again, thank you for your time today. We are very much looking forward to seeing you on the field this season, and for many more to come.
Brian, MN Announcer Guy Sweeney here, and these are your 2019 Minnesota Vixen Top 10 plays. Coming in at number 10, Vixen versus the Iowa Phoenix. Quarterback number 3, Emily Evans, throws a great pass to a wide receiver, number 11, Kaya Segula, for a 29-yard touchdown. At number 9, Vixen versus Iowa Phoenix. Number 42, Grace Lee Cooper breaks multiple tackles on her way to a 19-yard scrambling touchdown run. Coming in at number 8 in the same game, the Vixen line up for the point after attempt, and a bad snap is picked up by number 10, Connor Joe Lewis, who throws it to Segula for a 2-point conversion. At number 7, Vixen at St. Louis Slam when number 34, Tank Nelson busts loose for a 32-yard gain. At number 6, Vixen versus Slam on 3rd and 10. Number 96, Cynthia Red Bryant busts through the offensive line and takes down the rusher for a loss. Number 6, bonus, Vixen at Phoenix when number 9, Amy Mugas reads the quarterback's eyes and picks off the pass for a 37-yard interception return for a touchdown. At number 5, Vixen versus Dragons when number 20, Belvina McGrath, has a tiptoe along the sidelines for a 30-yard touchdown run. Number 4, Vixen at Kansas City Titans. Number 34, Tank Nelson stopped just short of the goal line after breaking multiple tackles in her 70-yard run. Coming in at number 3, Vixen versus Iowa Phoenix, when number 26, Caitlin Hill, comes up with a 50-yard interception return for her first career touchdown. Coming in at number 2, Vixen at Iowa. Start of the game when Iowa kicks off, and waiting for the ball at the 16-yard line is number 11, Kaya Segula, who picks it up and goes all the way to the other end, 89 yards for the touchdown. And finally at number 1, Vixen at St. Louis. 2nd and 10 from the 36-yard line when number 3, Emily Evans, drops a perfect pass over the left shoulder of number 11, Segula, for a touchdown. That's your top 10 plays of 2019. Follow them at MN_Vixen or myself, MN Announcer Guy, both on Twitter.
I don't know about all of you, but every time I see football footage right now, all I want to do is run outside for like a mile and just go bang on a tackling dummy or bang or another one of my teammates. I'm just so tired of not having the outlet that football is. We are going to give away the game day experience after this next video because it's also related to the game day. Some of you may have seen the video announcement that we made last week, which was the Funky Spud. What is a Funky Spud, you might say? Well, a Funky Spud in this case is a one-man band, one-man brass band. And I do literally mean one man. You'll see what I mean.
Hi, I'm the Funky Spud Shane Cox, and I'm excited to be leading the Minnesota Vixen pep band this year. I'm hoping to bring some hype and some energy to the games, and I hope that you'll join us. Right now, I'm going to do a loop station arrangement of my favorite football theme. If you enjoy, you should check out the Funky Spud YouTube page. I have videos just like this, and of me playing with the full band, so you can sort of see what to expect this year. All right, I hope that you enjoy, and go Vixen!
Burnsville Blazettes and the Funky Spud, some of the things that you'll see at game day experience this year at a Vixen game. Speaking of game day experiences, we have our winner for the game day experience with Brian Sweeney. Keep in mind that it doesn't have to be a Vixen game, because I think that the winner might be kind of occupied at the Vixen games this coming season. However, they manifest themselves. Cody Faley is the winner of the game day experience with MN announcer guy Brian Sweeney. Up next, we're going to hear from a couple more players, a couple more alumni, and then we're going to do a little bit of a holiday theme for a couple of songs, and then, sadly, we'll be done with the evening's entertainment. So stay tuned.
Hello, Vixen Nation. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Vixen Live, and thank you so much for all your support through the years. My name is Amy Mugas, and I am a close personal friend of Mike Hoodness's. And when I'm not hanging out with him, I play defensive back for the Minnesota Vixen. and I have had a great experience. I've been playing about 6 years, and it's been fantastic. My favorite part is actually 2 parts, so hang with me. First of all, I love that we get to have young girls and young women come to our games and see us on the field and just get that kind of confidence that they can do anything, and seeing them excited about the sport is awesome. And I hope that women's football continues to grow and that someday they'll have a huge platform. And second part is I love the sisterhood that it brings. I've got to meet some fantastic people and made some great friends. Especially like 2020s, it's been a year, am I right? Yeah, so it's been nice to have teammates that are there. They're not only there on the field, they're there off the field. So even if you have COVID during Thanksgiving, they might drop off some leftovers. It's happened. Or if you get kind of bored during the quarantine and want to start a podcast, I've heard that your teammates will start a podcast with you. Shameless plug for Let's Talk Sports. If you want to hear a couple Minnesota Vixen talk about some sports movies, check us out. Go into like one of those podcasty things and type Let's Talk Sports. And it should come up with me going like this. Yep, that's it. Give us a listen. Sometimes we're funny, sometimes we're not. So, so it could go either way. But yes, again, just thank you guys so much for everything. And hopefully we will see you in 2021. Go Vixen.
This next section is super dear to my heart, because as a longtime member of this team and this organization, I have seen and heard and done things that would not have been possible without the involvement of Vixen football. And I bleed true red and black. And one of those manifestations of that is tonight's entertainment. We really try to give back to the community just as much as you give us your time, your money, your support, your faithfulness for us continuing to do this sport that we just love. And it is very rewarding to be able to show you an evening such as this, and hopefully have you entertained just as much as we are providing entertainment for you.
Hey everyone, I'm Michelle, and thank you very much for joining us today to support the Minnesota Vixen. And talking about support and commitment, we needed to have this segment where I get to sit down with 3 of my favorite human beings in the whole universe, and also tales from the OV, original Vixen. We have the 3 original Minnesota Vixen players that are still with the team. So joining us right now, we have Jody Rylander, aka Moose. What's up, Jody?
Hey.
Also with us, Michelle Braun. You are here as well. What's going on, Michelle? Good to see you.
How's it going?
And also Cynthia Bryant, known as Red. Cynthia, good to see you as well.
Hello.
Hello. All right, now I'm going to be very enthusiastic. Moose knows this about me, but Moose, why did we decide that we're going to have this segment? I mean, to really just tell people what it's like to be with the Minnesota Vixen for such a long time period.
Yeah, I think the easiest answer is that we don't want history to be lost.
Right.
There are so many hundreds of women who have passed through the gates of playing, supporting, being fans of the Vixen. And as we approach the later part of our careers, we find it more important to start to talk about those early years, because I think with the successes that multiple leagues have had since we started, people forget that there were days when we changed under press boxes on football fields, in the outdoors, in the open, and drove ourselves to games and things like that.
Well, it is good to really show how the sport has changed. And a lot of the reason why it has been able to grow is because of the hard work of players like the three of you. I remember when I was playing, which seems like a million years ago, but is nothing compared to the 20-year span of the careers the three of you had, that people were always going, wait, you play what? And do you get paid for X? And how do you do this? And how did you get involved? So for each of you, I would love to hear the story. Let's start with Red. Red, when you found out that you had the chance to play on a women's professional football team, what was the first thing you thought?
I didn't believe it. And how it came to me, I was playing basketball in a league at the Uptown YMCA, and I was dribbling, and one of the coaches told a player, take a charge. And the girl's like, hell no, excuse my French, hell no. She's coming through like a freight train. Knowing to me, there were people there scouting to tell us about these tryouts and how they're having everybody come, over 200 women from everywhere to come and try out at Augsburg. And they were like, you need to try out. I played powder puff. I played, pick up football and stuff. Always loved the game, watched it with my dad. So I went to the tryout and made it, so it was a great experience. I was shocked, but yeah, that's how it happened.
Congratulations. And what's your story, Michelle? What were you thinking when you're like, I heard about this thing and I think I want to be a part of it?
Well, I saw a little 1-inch ad in the Star Tribune sports section talking about tryouts for women's football. And of course, I love the sport since I've been 5 years old. And it was at the Metrodome. And when somebody told me, hey, you could go do this huge tryout at the Metrodome, I was like, I have to figure out a way to get there. So I live up in the St. Cloud area first. So for me to drive all the way down there was kind of a big deal. And get over there, and I get in there, and there's just hundreds of women. And I'm just like, holy cow, like, I can't believe I'm here. I'm all nervous. I'm, I was so excited to get going and to get myself ready that I almost pulled my pants down. And just to be able to be out there and running around on the Metrodome, where the Vikings played and the Gophers played, and my high school football team had played in the state championships, that was really, really a big deal for me. And I was just like, I have to try to do this. This is something that if I've got an opportunity, I have to give it a shot.
That's amazing. And Jody, what was your experience? It must have been just super crazy to go, okay, I heard about this, but I didn't expect so many women to try out that first year. Was that your experience?
Pretty much. I was working at a newspaper in Bismarck, North Dakota, and I actually saw the same content Michelle did. I saw that little blurb about the tryouts move across the AP wire, and the sports editor came over and said, hey, Jody, you like football. You should check this out. So I talked the features editor into letting me write a story about the tryouts experience, never dreaming that I would make it. I was a pudgy desk jockey at the time who hadn't really played much, done much since college, and that was, 10 years prior to that. So we came down here. We came down to the Twin Cities. I tried out. There were hundreds of women. I was at the Augsburg one. And I remember calling a few weeks later just to see if I'd made the team. And the guy said, yeah, you made it. I'm still not sure whether I had actually made it or he was just like, I can't tell the girl no because she called. But 22 years later, here I am, and wouldn't have changed a thing.
That is absolutely amazing. And so what was that first season of exploration like as the three of those initial players for the Minnesota Vixen?
What the first year, so we split it up. So there was all these women, and there was over 200, and then they split it up into two teams, the Michigan Minx and Minnesota Vixen. And the whole point of this tour was to get people to buy in and learn about it and stuff. So the Vixen, we're the Minnesota team. Although we were getting, we didn't win, but we got better as it went on. And I could say this: the experience from going from basketball to football, totally different mechanics and stuff. And we had some of the most amazing coaches that were very energetic. Donnie, JT, but Donnie, defense coach, never forget him. He was so energetic and so like up in your face. You never experienced that in college sports or basketball or nothing like that. No coach was really in your face and pushing you to be better. So, he was so real. And he would say, I'll never forget, he would say, I don't care that you was the bomb at basketball. I don't care what you did at basketball. This ain't basketball. And if you think you're going to be one of the ones to make it, because we had this thing, the New York Sharks turned from flag to football tackle. So the biggest thing out of all of us playing, only the top 40 out of both teams could go down to New York.
Right.
So he would say, you ain't going to be on that. You're not going to be on the list. You're just out here fooling around. You're not doing nothing. So you would be like, at first I was like, oh my God, why are you coming at me like that? Like, who do you think you are? And then I got it. Like, he's just pushing you out of your comfort zone. So that first year of that was so so surreal. Like, this is what really goes down. This is what being a professional is about. Right. This is not, they're not going to coddle you. They're not going to stroke your ego. If you're not doing it, they were on you in a way that made you want to be better. And I'll never forget that. And that has pushed me in so many ways in my life now to go out of that comfort zone, to be better than I was yesterday. So every day, that's what I work on, to be better as a person, as an athlete, as everything than I was yesterday.
Michelle, I have an interesting question for you as someone who said that you love the sport of football, and as someone who is a veteran Minnesotan. I remember when I first started playing women's football, I was living in Texas, which is definitely a football state. So it seemed even though we were a women's team, there was still a little more buy-in because so much of the culture is around football. What's it like in a market like Minnesota that's sports driven, but not nearly as much of a sports machine as some of the other states, and then being a professional player here?
Well, I think sometimes that I don't think we get enough respect for who we are, who our longevity, number one. I mean, we've been around for, 22, 23 years now, and we're still kind of, in a way, not mentioned with some of the teams either from the East Coast, West Coast, teams that have won championships, because, that's one thing that has eluded us as an organization is winning a world championship. And we've come close a couple times, but just haven't gotten the brass ring yet. So I think sometimes being a flyover state, being a Midwest state, sometimes I don't feel that we get enough respect that we are the ones that started the modern era of women's football back in 1999. So many of these teams right now would not be here if it wasn't for us. And I'm not meaning to brag, not meaning to be a boastful person, but I think sometimes we don't get enough respect, and that kind of bothers me because there are a lot of teams in Texas. There's a lot of teams in California. There's a lot of teams on the East Coast, and they've won championships, and we just still haven't yet. I think sometimes that's one little chip on our shoulder that always motivated me for years, is that we need to go prove that. And if we could go prove that and get that monkey off our back, per se, and win that championship, I feel we would get a little bit more respect. But I would hope that it improves, that we have been this long, the same organization. And I would hope that we have 4 Hall of Famers now in our midst. And I think that says a lot.
And was that 5 you said, Jody, that we're up to 5? Mm-hmm. And Jody, a lot of what goes into being part of the Minnesota Vixen team isn't just playing. That part is kind of, honestly, the gravy on top of the mashed potatoes. A lot of what you have to do as a player is community outreach. It's publicity. It's trying to get more people to know about not only the team, but you as a player. So finding your own sponsorships. How do you balance all of that as well?
Right. So, I'm a mom, sister, spouse, and all of that doesn't stop just because I play football. And so one of the reasons that we're doing this interview is to be part of a broader fundraising effort, because it may surprise you to know that we actually have to pay to play the game that we love.
Right.
Most men who play this at a professional level. And so it never stops. We basically tell people when they try out for the team, you have to sort of tell your family they're not going to see you from January to July. Right. And then we kind of get August off, and then we ramp up for next year with tryouts and strength and conditioning and all of the off-season work that you put in, so that when you get to the season, it's easier.
Right.
I remember 2003 or so, I was playing in a game at Augsburg, and my free safety was the marketing person on the team at the time. And all of a sudden I hear her right before the snap go, "No, that's not the right announcement to read right now." And
you know how she feels.
Right. And so that is one thing. And that was back also in the days of Iron Woman football, where we all had to play because we only had like 25 people on the roster. Right. So there were games where it'd be the third quarter and I'd think to myself, hey, I've been off the field for 3 total plays so far this game. And that was just the way it was. I mean, now we have 100+ women try out for roughly 70 spots every year. So we have the luxury of numbers, but it very much was not always that way.
Right. I remember this last season that I played before I took my hiatus and moved into support. It was that same thing. Like, that was the first year. I normally was a defensive player, and that was the first year they're like, hey, we want to teach you how to play this role on offense. And I'm like, okay. And then once I figured, I'm like, wait, this is the chick I hit. Wait a minute. How did I end up in this spot? What am I doing now? And it is such a freeing educational opportunity for all of the players as well. And I think when people are talking to me about it, and what I'd like you all to talk about next is the feeling of community that you get as a member of the Minnesota Vixen, and how that has impacted you as amazing human beings.
I feel with football, everybody matters. And that's what it teaches you. It doesn't matter weight, size, height. None of that matters. There's a place for you on the football team. And one thing I've learned from football, like in basketball, you can have one person that can take over the game, like Kobe when he scored 82 points. You know what I'm saying? LeBron. You can have someone take over the game. In football, there's none of that.
Right.
In football, everyone has to do their job. If they don't do their job and we play it together, you're gonna get blasted. I don't care how fast you are as a running back. If you're not getting blocks, you're gonna get lit up. I don't care how far you can throw as a quarterback. If your O-line is not together and playing together, you're gonna get messed up. And I think the O-line, I think people take that for granted. The O-line is the glue to the whole team. The O-line is, and they never get that credit, and they never get that glory, but truthfully, they are what makes the quarterback. They are what makes the running back, the wide receivers. They are it. Mm-hmm. And it took a long time to learn that, for me to understand that, but I do. And football is more complex than people think. They think that you just go out there and you just hit and that's it. No, it's about communication. It's about trusting your teammate. So it teaches you all of that in life. You know what I'm saying? To be able to trust, to be able to make plays and go out and cheer people on. You know what I'm saying? You have to be unselfish. It's the craziest thing. You have to learn how to be very unselfish. And the O-line is the most unselfish players, and I give them the most respect ever. Although I love going through them, but yeah.
You've been close enough, Red.
Yeah.
It's got to be fun. Like when people are asking you, well, what do you love most about the game? And again, like now we could just be real honest. Like I remember that people would ask me what I love about it. I said, when I hit somebody hard enough that the audience goes, ooh, like what is your thing that the selfish thing about you that you love about being a Minnesota Vixen player?
Hitting.
Yeah.
Hitting, getting through a double team. getting through a double team, and when my teammates come and turn that player in, that they think they going all the way. And then that, you box them in, they turn in, and you just get that all full out free hit on them, take them off their feet. Right. Beautiful. It's the most, oh my God. It's it's just amazing.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, when Greg gave us a lot of credit on the O-line, and I played my O-line almost in my entire career. But I'll say two things actually. The first thing is being on O-line when we actually go down and start a drive, maybe inside our 10-yard line, and we were able to go all the way down the field and score. We wouldn't be able to do that if everybody didn't do their job, like Red was explaining. My one thing that I got to do, though, that was really fun, I have to say, was the one time when I was playing defense back in 2001. I got to play defense, and I got to give the Indiana quarterback a concussion. Ooh. And when I hit her, our middle linebacker intercepted the ball, and that was probably the greatest thing. When I stood up over her and she didn't get up, and I kind of went, "Oh no, she didn't get up." And then I felt really bad, but everybody was patting me on the back, so then I felt really good. So I can epitomize with Red a little bit. Sometimes it is kind of fun to hit, right? As an offensive line person and as an offensive person, it's really fun when you do your job and you go all the way down the field and score, and you hear the crowd cheering. You know you did your job.
And it's got to be interesting to repeatedly over the 20 plus years that you guys have all played, to re-explain to people that Minnesota Vixen football is full contact, full pad, full speed, because I feel like even though we have thousands of female professional football players across the U.S., there's still a lot of people who are surprised that women's professional football is professional football. Do you still seem to have to explain that a lot?
I don't know if it's explain it, but people accept it at face value more. So, the example would be, I say I play tackle football, and instead of saying, "Huh," most people are like, "Oh, okay." Like that's something they can wrap their brain around easier these days. I think they have questions, but then they maybe don't want to seem like they didn't know about it, because I'm just like, matter of fact, I play tackle football. Right. I think too, with the surgence of Lori Locust in Tampa Bay and Katie Sowers in San Francisco and a couple other, Sarah Thomas as a referee, women in football is becoming a lot more regular. So it's not such a novelty anymore. Well, of course, you play football because women are doing football in other areas.
And I'm always impressed, and I like to remind people that this is a great thing to have the whole family come to, because even when we are looking at ticket prices and when you're looking for activities that you can afford to make it an event for your whole family, it is a great value to be able to bring your whole family to a Minnesota Vixen game. Is that still the case, do you ladies think?
Yes.
Yeah. You can bring a family of 4, eat, and probably get some nice souvenirs for under $75, which is not something you can do very many places these days.
Right.
Definitely. And enjoy our be a Vixen who rouse up. Best
mascot in the league.
Yes,
exactly.
Yes, the best mascot. She riles you up. That's the most of, so you're gonna have fun. You best believe that. So that's what it's all about.
I'm excited to continue to watch this journey. I appreciate all 3 of you. You are leaders. You are passionate human beings, and I am so proud to know you and have you in my circle. So thank you to Jody Rylander, aka Moose. Of course, thank you to Cynthia Bryant, Red, and of course, thank you to Michelle Braun. Everyone else, you can find out more information and learn how to support the Minnesota Vixen. Go to our website, mnvixen.com. That's mnvixen.com. Support us, join us, and we will see you for the next 20 plus seasons. Thanks everybody for sitting down with us and our Minnesota Vixen OVs.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you.
Come to the game.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Alumni. What a great thing to be. I will be one someday, but not this year. And now we have another alumni, Nicolette Shegstead, who has sent a football and holiday themed greeting.
To all current and former Vixen players, remember, we'll always be one team, one family.
Hey, Molly. Molly, you're there?
I am.
Hey, Molly. So I would like to introduce to everyone Molly Bleasy. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep.
Molly is a rookie and directly related to the next few things that are coming up here. But first, I would also like to read the names of the 16 new rookies for the 2021 season. And I would like to again remind everyone that Adopt-a-Vixen donations are essential, even more so for rookies, because not only does a rookie have to figure out how to play football, they have to figure out how to get their football gear. So they have an extra expense, including uniforms, a home and away jersey, pants, cleats. If they've not, no one really has football shoulder pads lying around the house, or a helmet. And those expenses run into the hundreds of dollars. We don't have equipment sponsors. This is all out-of-pocket expenses. And we also have expenses that come from travel. We whether it's a 6-game or an 8-game or however many game season, we are all responsible for our own costs when we're on the road. So for a rookie, the total outlay for the rookie season can be upwards of $1,500. So, but you already signed your contract, right, Molly? So
yeah.
Just,
yeah, my face. Oh, what?
So if you're out there and watching rookies, please say hey in the chat. If you know one of these rookies, feel free to tag them. We're so excited to have these new members of the Vixen family. Dia Ariel, Molly Bleasy, Corey Daling, Ray Horton, Adri Jusak, Amy Kazura, Emmy Marco, Leah Moan, Bethany Montague, Megan Myers, Jayla Rashaw, Erica Rhodes, Charity Stevson, Ashley Walker, Tashiana Washington Ware, and Mylea Young. Welcome again to the Vixen family. I hope I didn't butcher anyone's name. We did follow the approved MN announcer guy method of asking them for a phonetic pronunciation before we tried to read them over the air. So, Molly, what's your thoughts on being a Vixen rookie for the 2021 season?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I am excited because it's a whole new, literally, ball game for me. My background is in soccer and dance and track, so very different. But yeah, I'm super excited. I've gotten to do some of the strength and conditioning, so I've gotten to meet some of the people on the team, and it's already been such an amazing experience. Have already felt super welcomed and already feel part of the team and part of the family. So it's been really fun so far. We haven't even started.
That's so great. Any thoughts on position you're looking for or hoping for?
Yeah, I in my experience, I've been in a defensive position for soccer. So I put that in the notes of this is what I know and I'm comfortable with, but I'm honestly so open to play whatever. Yeah, super flexible. I'm excited for the opportunity to play at all. So
how do you feel about hitting someone for the first time?
I'm very excited about it. I did do my fair share of tackling and slide tackling and running into people on the soccer field. So the fact that this will actually be legal is very exciting to me. Yeah, so I'm good with it.
Yeah, my old roommate always told me that they were so happy to find football because they were tired of getting red cards. So.
Yeah. I don't think I ever got one of those, but it was always, sometimes when they wouldn't come up and you're like, oops, did I hurt you? Sorry.
Yeah. Well, and I think for most of us who play football, it's like, sorry, not sorry. Right.
Right.
So, next time, get out of the way. So I have some interesting news for you. We have a winner. Stephen Sherry, is it Weeze?
Yes.
Wise?
Yes.
Steve and Sherry have won the Vixen Color
and
Crocheted Fox perform the drawing, so please say congratulations to them for us.
Oh, yes, those are my
And
parents.
I would like you to cue up our next performers, who I think you might know.
Yes, that'd be awesome.
So go ahead. Who are we?
Oh, yes, sorry. So, because I have a very talented younger sister, I thought I would pass the buck and give her an opportunity. So she and a few friends are, they go to a school, it's a performing arts school, and they're getting degrees in musical theater. And because of obviously all the shutdowns, they don't have a lot of opportunities to perform for an audience. So I reached out to her, and so her, Heidi Weiss, Kaylee Wu, Ian Webster, I believe, and Ben Musek are some of her friends, and they are going to be performing a little Christmas song for you.
Yay! And don't forget, Adopt-a-Vixen donations still
That's
open
right.
when we go off the air. So help those rookies so they don't have to spend so much money.
Yeah, so we're not poor.
Yeah.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away, miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough, on the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star upon the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas. Have a very merry Christmas now.
How great was that? Every year I call it my Christmas moment. And whatever holiday you observe, celebrate, or none at all, I hope that this December finds you looking forward to 2021 in some way. And I think I just had my Christmas moment. That was really nice. We are winding down to the end of our program. We have just a couple things more for you. And one of them is another feature from a family who are Vixen fans and have performed at previous variety shows in the past. So here is Carol of the Bells by Yana, Allen, and Katri Recco. I'm always amazed by people who can sing in more than two-part harmony, because it is one of the most challenging things to keep everything in somewhat tune without the help of something like an auto-tune that sort of fixes voices. So thank you so much for those beautiful performances from our friends. Up next, we have a video from the youth camp that we do every fall. Obviously, this past fall, we weren't able to do that, but we look forward to doing that again, because the next generation of Vixen is coming, and we are so proud to be able to keep paving the path for them to participate in events like summer camps. And I think we also have a Girls of Fall initiative coming up as part of getting a pipeline for girls to play tackle football. I have one more drawing winner to announce, and this is for a signed football by the Vixen. It will get delivered at a later date once we are all able to get together and actually sign the football. But this signed football has been won by Betty Dean in support of Sil Winton. So congratulations, Betty. You'll get your football sometime in the spring. All right, last two things. We have another alumni message from a good friend, and then we have, as mentioned in Sil's interview earlier, another alter ego performance to take us out through the closing credits. In closing, I would like to thank everyone for watching tonight. As I mentioned before, it is with your support and your constant showing us the love that we are able to do and play this game that we love. We could not do this without you. We couldn't even come close. As Brian Sweeney and others mentioned, even our games, there's only 11 people on the field, but we need 100 more, would love 1,000 more in the stands cheering and making sure that this game remains available for anyone who wants to play it, because football is for everybody, no matter what your size, what your shape, where you were born, anything. Football is for everybody. There's people playing women's tackle football around the world. Morocco today, in fact, the WFA All-Star team was in Costa Rica playing I believe a South American, a Central American team of All-Stars. So it is a wave that we hope never ends, and we cannot thank you enough for all of your support. Have a great evening. Have a great holiday season, again, no matter what you celebrate, and we will definitely see you all on the field in 2021.
My name is Courtney Gibson Thomas, aka GT, former offensive tackle for the Minnesota Vixen. I want to wish all the Vixen players a great 2021 season. Go out there, show them what a powerhouse we are, and bring it home. Squad up!
You know, I had that really great closing, and then I was reminded that we actually had not given away our giant grand prize of the night. So we will have to wait just a minute more to get to Sil doing an alter ego performance as David from Schitt's Creek as we close the evening's performance. So everyone, drum roll on your countertop of choice, please. Sherry Smith for Jayla Shaw, one of our rookies. You are the winner of the Grand Prize package, which includes a $250 Delta travel voucher, a metal Vixen sign, and a bunch of other great Vixen swag. So congratulations. And now Jayla has to play, right? Jayla has to get on the field. Good night, everybody. It's been fun. I'm so lucky to be able to do this for all of you, and happy everything. Good night.
I call you, I need you in the heart.